Today, President Trump fired back at Republicans after the House passed a war powers resolution to stop his actions in Iran without congressional approval. Trump calls the move meaningless and called the 4 Republicans who voted with Democrats unpatriotic. The resolution now moves to the Senate. It comes as Trump tries to negotiate a deal with Iran, saying it could be soon.
I mean, if it happens, and it might not happen, who knows? But if it happens, it could happen like over the weekend.
In a sign of potential progress, Israel and Lebanon agreed to a ceasefire, but the deal doesn't involve Hezbollah. Hezbollah's leader rejects the ceasefire and in a statement says as long as the occupation exists, the resistance will continue. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton plans to plead guilty to 1 charge of mishandling sensitive national security documents, according to sources. Bolton reportedly agreed to pay a fine of over $2 million and could go to prison for up to 5 years. He's accused of keeping diary entries that document the year he served under President Trump during his first term. Prosecutors say Bolton also used a personal email account to share files with his wife and daughter. Bolton did not plead guilty to the transmission charges because they may be dropped as part of his plea deal. And President Trump says he will nominate Todd Blanche to be Attorney General to succeed Pam Bondi at the Justice Department. Blanche has been serving as acting Attorney General for 2 months since the firing of Bondi. In the past, he was Trump's personal attorney. Today, Senate Republicans cleared the first hurdle as they try to pass legislation to fund President Trump's immigration enforcement agencies. Republicans rejected a Democratic effort to permanently block Trump from creating an almost $2 billion anti-weaponization fund for allies who claim they faced government persecution. The vote comes at the start of what's known as a vote-a-rama, a marathon voting session that allows amendments to bills, in this case a $70 billion GOP immigration measure to fund ICE and Border Patrol, before final passage.
The very first amendment I will offer in vote-a-rama today will be to outlaw the slush fund forever. So when Trump wakes up a week from now or a month from now and says, why don't we try that slush fund again, he won't be able to.
When all the political statements have been made, we will pass the underlying bill and be 1 step closer to funding border security and immigration law enforcement for the next 3 years.
Many Republicans also want the $1.8 billion fund shut down, but are wary of derailing the broader effort to pass the immigration enforcement bill. More votes are expected for Democrat amendments for the immigration bill before it can advance. The Agriculture Department is confirming that a calf in South Texas is infected with a screwworm fly, which can kill livestock if it's not treated. For the first time in decades, officials say the parasitic fly could threaten the nation's cattle industry. The government is releasing sterile flies and will quarantine the area in Texas where the infected calf was found. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is urging farmers to closely monitor their herds. Today, she also spoke about worries over food safety.
This pest does not cause any sort of a food safety issue. It is not a disease, but simply an insect that feeds on living tissues.
If the situation worsens, it could impact beef prices, which are already up 13% within the last year. This is partially due to the U.S. cattle herd being at a 75-year low because of extreme weather, high feed costs, and industry consolidation. The Muscatine community is mourning the 6 people who were shot and killed on Monday. Investigators say the gunman, 52-year-old Ryan McFarland, fatally shot himself after officers confronted him. Police continue to investigate, but the victims were relatives of McFarland. 4 of them were found at a home. 2 were found at other locations. The community built a memorial outside the McFarland home. People are passing by to pay their respects. 2 of the 6 victims were students in the local school district, and 2 others were district employees.